Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Honda's sales, and it's a pretty interesting story. Before we get in this video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then a lot of the information in today's video comes from Cox Automotive. With that being said, let's get right into it. The big headline figure is that Honda's sales year over year have increased by 45%. That is absolutely enormous, and it makes complete sense when you look at what happened to Honda over the course of the pandemic. They absolutely hit rock bottom when it comes to supply and supply chain issues. I mean, it was an absolute mess. So they can pretty much only go up from where they are at. So their sales were 347,000 units total. Now that combines Honda and Acura. We'll kind of go through both the brands and talk about what's happened. And well, let's start with the Honda brand. So 306,000 units with the Honda brand, 43% increase year over year. And if you're wondering, the industry average is a 17% increase year over year. Now, if you look at individual vehicles within the brand, the Accord had a 49% increase, Civic 52%, CR-V 66%, Odyssey 106% increase, Pilot 39%, and even the Ridgeline had a 37% increase. Now, if you look at the Acura side of things, they had a sales increase year over year of 63%. Now, obviously, Acura is not as high of a volume player within the Honda umbrella. 40,000 units last quarter or so. I mean, they still sell a lot of cars, just not nearly as much as Honda. Now, the cars that did really well with Acura, the MDX 67% increase, and then the Integra had a 489% increase. That is crazy. TLX 40% increase, and the RDX was up by 39%. And when you put all of this together, this gives Honda plus Acura a US market share of 8.4%, which is a 1.6% increase. I mean, that is absolutely enormous. Now, when you dive into the incentive spend, this is up quite substantially. It's over $1,300, almost $1,400 per car on average. This is still below the industry average of around $2,000. The Honda brand has an average incentive spend of just over $1,100, whereas the Acura brand has an incentive spend of over $3,000. That's kind of what we see in the car industry. It seems like the incentive spend for luxury cars is always higher than non-luxury cars. Now, if we look at average transaction price, it's just over $37,000. And Honda was pretty minimal with the increases in terms of pricing on their cars compared to other automakers. They did a similar thing to Toyota. That's why their average transaction price is so low. And if you look at Acura, their average transaction price is $51,000, which is below the luxury average of like $67,000. So both of them were modest with the price increases, which I think is helping them out quite substantially right now, because a lot of other automakers have priced themselves out of the market with their product because of how much they increased their prices over the course of the pandemic. And so although, Honda and Acura were put in a situation where they had no inventory, now that they are able to build more vehicles, they're able to get massive gains when it comes to market share. And it's not like this is at the loss of profits, because they did still increase the prices on their cars, and their incentive spend is still below industry averages with both the brands. Again, when you compare Acura to other luxury brands, and when you compare Honda to other non-luxury brands, then combining everything together compared to the overall car market. Now, with that being said, I do want to say that Honda definitely, especially the Honda brand, definitely needs to figure something out to ramp up production even more so than what they've done so far, because I do think that this is really starting to kind of weigh on their customer base. I mean, you go into a Honda dealership and there's just not a lot of cars available, especially the cars that people want. Like if you want a CR-V or the new HR-V or the Civic, the really popular cars, any of their cars really, you have to wait, right? You can't just go into a dealership and buy one. And obviously this is great for profitability for the dealers and for Honda, but for the consumers, not so much. There are a lot of customers that are leaving to other brands because there's still just a huge lack of availability. So I think that needs to improve. On the Acura side of things, availability is a bit better, but what I do want to say is it seems like the availability is better with the more expensive cars. So like the MDX Type S, for example, that's over $70,000 on average. Whereas you look at like an RDX, those are still hard. Ooh, almost fell off. Those are still hard to come by. So the point that I'm trying to make here is they need to still, focus on just ramping up production at this point, because they are losing customers to other manufacturers because of their lack of availability with vehicles. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Honda situation. Let me know what you think is going to happen with Honda and Acura moving forward. My personal take on the whole situation is I think that they're going to continue eating up more and more market share as long as they don't just massively increase their prices out of nowhere, which I don't think they're going to do that. I'll see ya.